And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rauta's stream, November stream. As expected, a couple of minutes late. I was trying to be here exactly 10 o'clock local time, which should mean roughly 8 o'clock in general time. But here we have November stream, no particular topic, even though I will be speaking a couple of things here. Obviously, it's gonna be more about let's get up to date on various topics, and of course, let's try to do a little bit of foretelling to 2024, and especially the end of the year 2023. What can we expect from the channel? What can we expect from the crew, especially me here with the Rauta streams? No, as it always is, alcohol is a little bit involved here with the streams. Man needs a drink. So here we have some Indian tonic, some little bit pinky um, gin, which I actually bought last year when I was with the family in Nice, France. I already have a new gin bottle ready to be opened, which I bought recently, Hendrix Amazonian. And yeah, I happen to love gin and tonic. So here we have. Yeah, this is good. No ice whatsoever. So anyway, people, as always with the streams, of course, feel free to just ask me anything. If you want an answer as soon as possible, tag me. That means at Rauta. So helps me to figure out from the comment section. It will be easier to just read what happens here on the screen, and then you will be getting your answer in timely fashion. Um, well, since we have all going, welcome to the stream indeed, and we'll start talking about what's going on lately. Now, of course, those who are frequent visitors of the channel already know what's going on, meaning there are these daily review videos and various recaps of sorts. And of course, during the weekend, usually there is at least one interview coming up. I mean, not more than one interview per week anyway. And then, of course, we have been making, we meaning mostly me, some festival recaps lately. I mean, Steel Chaos 2023 was already there. We had this Gamos Metal Cruise already in September. And now my focus is on what's going to happen in coming weeks and months. Now, as it is always in Finland, that is, not much is happening in terms of festivals or even individual gigs towards the end of the year. November, December, January, February, always quite silent in the metal gig department. I mean, there will be individual gigs and all that stuff. What in essence it means that there won't be too many interviews happening towards the end of the year or early 2024, because that's how it is. I mean, whatever festivals were visited during the summer and all that stuff, I mean, all those interviews are now out. Plot Incantation was the last one from August. Beyond the Gates Festival 2023. And since that, there has been one more interview, which we did after that. Battle Lore, a Tolkien based fantasy metal band, fantasy slash folk slash black metal band. And next week, there will be Sky Forger, a Latvian folk slash black metal band interview, which I think is pretty interesting. I mean, these guys are some old school veterans of the genre. They have been making their music since mid 90s. So not exactly a new band, but very much on the second wave of black metal. But the Latvian thing is quite different from many Scandinavian things. Then, curiously enough, I don't know if anybody saw this happening, but you are among the very few people who know about it. There will be nightside interview, and of course, I'm not interviewing myself, but in fact, I was honored to have this going on with Hest of Tåke. So, Mr. Main Man of Tåke is actually interviewing me for nightside and all that stuff. So, it's going to be something different than your typical interview. Usually, I'm asking the questions, I'm pacing the whole interview, setting up the narrative, and let the artist do whatever he is best at, answering the questions and all, explaining the music and the band and all that stuff. And now we're switching roles. As you people might there already know, I've done two talk interviews, one in 2019 and one in 2023, which happened in his home city, Bergen. And he decided to give me help because some people have been joking and talking about that I should be, doing Nightside interview. Nightside being the band I'm the vocalist of, in case you don't know. So like I cannot really interview myself for the camera and all. So he's like, hey, he will do the questioning. He will have the questions list and all that stuff. And there we did that at Steel Chaos 2023. So that should be out in a couple of weeks as well. Now, so far, it's the only one, I mean, the last one in the pipeline for coming interviews. But at least one is already agreed with Ereb Altor, a Swedish Viking metal band that is going to play in my home city, Turku, in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Well, roughly 2 weeks anyway. So that will be the next one, which is being planned. But whatever happens towards the end of the year, I truly, unfortunately, I don't know when, where, or which bands will be interviewed. So now you roughly know what's going on, what's happening with the interviews for the rest of the year. And of course, I'm trying to get some interviews done towards the end of the year. But like I said, all bets are off because there are not too many gigs happening anyway towards the end of the year. Now, if you're just joining the stream, welcome. Indeed, have a drink like I'm having here, gin tonic. Now we'll read some of the comments and greet you accordingly. Hello, Milos from Serbia. Nice to have you here. I was just reading an interview some ex-Eastern Bloc countries lately, so I feel already like, I should definitely have more people. I mean, the bands from bands like Serbia, Slovakia, Czechia, and all that stuff. Those countries are never too much on the map when it comes to extreme metal, unfortunately. So, hello, Dark Letter. Welcome to the stream, and Maslow as well. Hello, nice to have you here. Tervetuloa. Was nice to see you at Steel Chaos. Hope to meet you again. And there is Slovenia already mentioned. Welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. Milos is having Coolhead Neighbor. That's awesome. I mean, Coolhead is my favorite brewery from Finland. I simply adore their beers. I really, really love whatever they're doing. Once upon a time, there was an idea with Coolhead. I already had this conversation going on that if they would like to be some kind of a sponsor for the channel. This was already supposed to happen maybe 3 years ago. And we had already this conversation going on. I wasn't expecting any kind of money, just some beers. And I will then again talk about their beers. But unfortunately, things kind of got ruined, I think, with COVID. And then nothing really happened. Unfortunately so, because I really love their beers and I love drinking them. And of course, I like to talk about them to other people, but Coolhead deal never happened, unfortunately so. Oh, Hungary is here as well. We really have nice Eastern European amount of people here. Very, very nice. Because, like I said, there are plenty of interesting bands coming from Eastern Europe. And whether we're talking about bands like Tormentor from Hungary or Mastershammer from Czechia, bands like, come on, there's something going on in my head, Witcher from Hungary once again. There are bands which are doing their own style, which is not very Western done necessarily. And I think that's really, really cool because, I mean, these bands, much like Root, they had their own role in the late 80s, early 90s with their own kind of a black metal. I was actually thinking, what the hell is this certain band coming from? God damn it. It's on the tip of my tongue, really. Well, kind of a very barbaric band, Maniac Butcher. That was a kind of a hilarious and quite good band back in the days as well. But these bands coming from Eastern Europe are never getting the kind of attention like Scandinavian bands are doing. In that respect, they're boxed in very much like a lot of Greek bands. Well, Greeks at least have Rotting Christ and all that stuff, but I guess you know what I'm talking about. People seem to overlook a lot of these cult names because they're not as sexy or dangerous or whatever like a lot of Norwegian bands, and sometimes they're more obscure, more artistic, uh, more experimenting bands than a lot of those Eastern Europe, sorry, Scandinavian bands. So people really should be checking out that stuff as well. Yeah, I remember the Stone getting a little bit of recognition. I'm happy for them. Unfortunately, that band didn't really click with me too much so far, but I definitely agree that people should be giving those bands a chance. Hola, Hector Garcia. Nice to have you here as well. Cameron is asking if I do like early theosophy. Are you talking about the band or the topic? Please enlighten me. Now, like I said, there has been some, I wouldn't call them news as much, but some things which I wanted to mention during the stream. First of all, before I forget, I was supposed to write it down as a list on a piece of paper or phone or whatever. But as I was in the shower or whatever, not exactly having any kind of writing stuff here, I keep forgetting things. First of all, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to Anna Karrila powerlifter who was supporting us at Steel Chaos, having the Nigel hoodie and all that stuff. If you don't know Anna K, powerlifter, you should check her up. I mean, she's world class lifter, supporting us. Nice person and really, really smart and really, really strong. Also, thanks to her for like putting Nights a little bit on the map. One other thing which I guess I should be mentioning. I'll just be right back. Hold on. And now that we are talking about Nights Out a little bit, some people already noticed this on the news, on the social media. These are very, very fresh from the oven, and I just wanted to show you what we got. This Nightside original album from 2001 actually got nice reissue now. This just came out here through Purity Through Fire. There was original printing by Goatworks, but this is the reissue version with new layout, and you will see the Purity Through Fire logo right there. This is the younger version of me, in case you really didn't notice. And of course, this won't be reviewed being my own band and all that stuff, but these vinyl versions are now out with some old photography as well. Guess who this is? And then the lyrics. So just wanted to show you something this because obviously there won't be any kind of a unboxing video of this LP. And of course, I mean, I would be foolish not to advertise at least a little bit my own band when I have the chance, because of course I'm proud what we're doing, and I'm happy that our label is actually putting some effort for these releases. I mean, it's not that much given. There are lots of labels who just do shitty work and who don't really do what is supposed to happen, like in terms of contracts, agreements, or whatever. So I just wanted to show you, like, sometimes cool things happen, and now I'm happy that we get a new batch of these LPs, because when Goatworks released those 200 LPs, what it was like 3 years ago already, they were sold out even before we cut our own copies. And then people were asking me like, hey, I would like to acquire one, and I was like, we're already sold out, because we got like I don't know, maybe 40 copies in total. Then you divide it among the old members and all that stuff, and current members, of course, of the band. Well, 40 copies is gone. sooner than you can spell out your mom's first name. So I'm saying it took some time to get a new batch of these. Now I think it's 250 copies, I think. And of course, I'm happy that we finally got to feature the song Battle Storms on this LP version. It was supposed to be on the CD back in the days when the album was released, 2001, but didn't happen because the label back then, Sound Riot, managed to fuck up. And this LP version is so far the perfect version of what the album was supposed to be already more than 20 years ago. So now that we have it out there, it's nice. And I hope that we'll finally get some CD version with the all the tracks included, what was supposed to happen already in 2001. So much about Nightside reissues, and of course, I'm happy that we played. I think a good show. I don't know if I can. Anyway, never comment my own band show because, of course, when you're on stage, you really don't get to see or hear how it sounds, how it looks, and all that stuff. But I think we played a good show at Steel Chaos. It was really, really a privilege, an honor for us to open the festival, being the first band of the first day, and let the black metal happen there on stage and play to the audience. So not only I want to thank to Anna and her husband for supporting us, but also the audience that were there at Steel Chaos, checking us out. And I hope we played a show that was worthy. Of course, you can never please everybody. That's kind of a given. And I don't ever take it for granted when people are like, "Hey, you were good on stage." So I'm gonna say we're just a bunch of humble guys, and we do our own way of doing black metal. And it was nice to hear that some people actually got to enjoy the show. So thanks for those. And now it's cool that we got to celebrate, even though a little bit late to the party, with those LPs. And talking about a little bit more on the Nightside news is that we're now doing a new album, pre-production already done. We have a bunch of new songs ready, and we've been, rehearsing them quite a bit. And I hope that our schedule, what we have in mind, I don't know if it will hold, but the aim is to record this new album by the end of the year, and then we could have a 2024 release out next year. But we shall see how it goes, and of course, then we will play more shows. So those who are interested, what I do musically, in addition to reviewing stuff here on the channel or interviewing other bands and talking about phenomenon, what's going on in the metal world, I hope that our efforts, and by our I mean the band, our efforts will be worthy enough for you to check it out. So those are the Nightside news from Rauta Camp and Nightside Camp. So I just wanted to give you a little bit heads up because you're here on the stream, and I think you deserve to know some things before the others. I mean, that's the least I can do, share you some of the stuff that's happening. So now getting back to your questions, and of course, once again, remember to tag me if you want the guaranteed answer. I still cannot 100% guarantee every possible question, but I'll try to do my best. So coming back to Cameron, no, unfortunately, I don't know the Russian band Theosophy. I cannot really comment it. At least I don't remember listening to it. Yes, Torso, Maniac Butcher is real barbaric black metal. Um, so SK, you were not hearing any sound. I hope you're able to hear me right now. At least the sound level should be all good. Now I have the microphone here on the top of me instead of having it on the table, because recently I got the Logitech package with a kind of a microphone boom. Obviously, you cannot see it, but it's right above the camera going down on the table. And now I have these nice streaming lights, which means that the image quality is not that grainy, even though it's super dark outside. I mean, if I would turn the camera around for a little bit, you wouldn't see jack shit because it's all dark. And here, living in the countryside, it's literally pitch black. I can just see random lights here and there far away, but other than that, it's just super dark, even though here it is full lighted up. 24 HGB is asking if I like grindcore bands, not like Napalm Death, but bands like Macro Grande, Worm Rot. Now, most grind bands are, in my opinion, quite boring, but there are bands like, say, Inferia from Finland. I think they are really doing nice balance with the kind of death metal meeting grind parts, like heavy sound, catchy songs, and all that stuff. And of course, well, Napalm that had its moments, but like you said, you don't really mean it. Most grind bands, though, however, don't really interest me that much. Hello, Nevermore Rules. Welcome to the stream as well. Hector Carter is asking if Deadspell Omega has ever played live. I don't know. I think never, but I am not sure. Hello, Cecilia Taylor. Once again, John, welcome to the stream as well. Oh, Nevermore Rules. You actually got to some of the places in Bergen. Nice. Well, Helion was my favorite spot in Bergen, but Kroken was quite nice too. Though some people said it like in a negative way, like Kroken is like too modern or trendy or whatever. But I mean, I'm not that picky. For me, a good bar is defined by the atmosphere and the people. If the people are like my friends, I don't care what kind of a shithole it really is. Of course, that doesn't really make the bar better, but you know what I mean? Is that if the atmosphere is right there and the people are indeed making the atmosphere, even the music can be shitty, even the drinks can be quite of a shitty, but if the good people are right there, the people I want to be with, I don't really care. And in my books, Kroken is pretty nice of a metal bar. I mean, there are many places which don't have really that level of a metal bar, so can't really complain. I mean, I feel it's kind of a luxury when any given city has more than one metal bar. I'm not saying it's necessarily a good thing because sometimes it means people are more divided. Some people will go there, and some other people will go that way, and some people are just gonna fuck away. So in that sense, I'm saying like that is already what's going on with Bergen based on my 4 days and all. Like we were mostly spending our evenings at Helion, but we spent some time with the Kulturhuset and a little bit on the Kroken side. So of course, a little bit different audience going different bars. But yeah, I would say Bergen has quite nice of a metal scene apparently, because a lot of metalheads, older generation and the newer generation, and people were just like bar hopping, and I get to meet a lot of new people there, old and new friends. So can't really bitch about it. I think Bergen is in a way a black metal mecca for people looking for Scandinavian black metal environment, because obviously you will see there the local band people. So I mean, why the fuck not? So definitely a good place to visit. Thank you, Benji. I'm glad that you were looking forward to the new LP. Furry Dog, the best show at Steel Chaos. Obviously, us. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what was the best. I mean, because well, different bands played, of course, different styles. For example, I didn't get to see Baratrum, and I was told it was one of the best Baratrum shows like for a long time. Gorgodrus was really solid. I think that's in a way one of the better ones. But then again, the Cannibal Accident was hilarious with their actual live show, which is not something that we can say a lot about bands. Tokyo was maybe like too noisy, but I mean, other than that, they always are good on stage. There's a lot of things happening, and you really can't disrespect the band having a banjo on stage. But I really can't have like one favorite. There's some bands which I just totally skipped, partially because I have other stuff going on. But I saw a little bit here and there, and I cannot say there was a single bad one, at least among the ones that I saw. Satanic War Monster was kind of a surprising because they started with the Wasp cover, which some people didn't like, and all that stuff. But I mean, whatever I saw, yeah, quite nice. Yeah, I think the new night side is going to be solid because you probably know me. I mean, you as the audience know that I'm kind of a picky when it comes to songs, and my own band is no different. I cannot stand when the songs are lukewarm. So obviously, I'm looking for quality, and in my band, it means I have to be, you know, I have to be convinced by the songs, whatever others are making, or otherwise it doesn't feel right. So I think the new Nightside album is gonna be solid, at least for my liking, not for everybody. That's kind of a given. And for Dog, nice to hear that mic quality and mic and video quality is all right. 24, I would say Druid over Hate Forest if I have to choose. Cecilia, what about Natram? In which respect? What kind of thoughts are you looking for? Ben, unfortunately, never been to Maryland Death Fest. The thing here is, traveling to USA is very, very budget taxing. And so far, it's so much cheaper for Rauta crew to travel to, say, Sweden or Norway rather than United States. And as you might know, Rauta's budget is very, very low. So that's the reason why I never been to Maryland Death Fest. I would love to, but rest assured, there's not really enough money for that at the moment. Hector Garcia, to be honest, um, I don't know what my was my initial reaction when I heard the first time the word deathcore, but I would say like now more experienced. Deathcore really kind of describes what's going on. It's metalcore with death metallic elements. In my opinion, it's like a diet coke, like a low fat food. It's death metal or death metal related music for people who find death metal to be really too heavy and too brutal. In my opinion, deathcore is like a diet coke of death metal. Surely heavier than metalcore. I mean, it's not really the kind of a Avenged Sevenfold kind of a five finger death punch kind of thing or kill switch engage. Yeah, it's heavier, but when it comes to death metal, I think deathcore pales in comparison, where we're talking about brutality and all that stuff. So it's like a typical hybrid genre. I don't really hate any given genre at this age. I'm all about checking out new bands and all that stuff. Surely some genres are more interesting to me than the others, but even like some disco songs, like some techno songs, whatever pop songs might have interesting thing going on, interesting passage here and there, or interesting melody here and there. So it's not like I hate deathcore, metalcore. I'm just saying it doesn't really interest me that much. So it's not like I, spend time with that. Hello, Maya. Maya, which is it? Can't really read. Paul Walsh is asking me if I have been to Northwest Terror Fest. Well, unfortunately, never been. Never been to any of American fests. The thing is pretty much the same as with Maryland or Psycho Las Vegas. There is no budget. I mean, in order to route a crew to actually go to American Fest, we would need some serious funding. And when I say crew, it means at least one camera person to go with me. Why? Because it's virtually impossible, at least very, very hard to do interviews by my own without actual dedicated camera person. And if people are wondering, like, how can't I go to a festival without camera person? Sure, I would. But would I rather go to a festival where I can do interviews rather than go to a festival as just as a fan? Two different topics. So I'd rather put my money and time on festivals when I can drag at least one camera person with me. So then we can actually make some footage out of the festival. So yeah, I would definitely want to go to American fests. I've been to United States for 3 times and I always had good time. But let's be honest about it, traveling from Finland to United States, it's not cheap. So there's that. Thank you, Cecilia Taylor. I'm happy to hear that you like the Nightside performance clips. I hope there will be more of that later on. Uh, Furri Voimakas asking me about my Primordial new album. I actually reviewed it lately. I think it's good, but if you want my more into details kind of a opinion about it, maybe just check out the review video of Primordial's new album. Um, Benji, I'm happy to hear that you like the Lion's tone and feeling. Um, oh, Cecilia Taylor, you're talking about Silencer with Natram. Well, I remember that I liked the Silencer album, at least Death Pierce Me, but it's been so many years since the last time I actually heard it. When I actually listened to it, that I wouldn't dare to collect it and comment it in any kind of a detail because so many years. I just remember I liked the kind of a desperate, dark atmosphere on the album, but I cannot really like make remarks of the whole album because it's been so many years since I last time I listened to it. Yeah, SK, I kind of agree with you on the death metal unblack statement because I think it's like a college version of you know death metal in a way. So it's like why would I want to go that way? I mean, why not go for the real deal? So there's that. Ginger is asking once again. I want to please people. If you want my answer, please tag me in order to. I'm going to probably miss some of the comments questions because you're not tagging me. Ginger Rocks is however asking interesting question. Is it important to distance yourself from whatever music genre you don't know? No, I don't feel like it's important to distance myself. Rather, I try to learn whatever I'm listening to. So when it's a genre I don't know well, I don't want to pretend that I know it well, but rather learn why it is so special to some people. So I rather see myself learning about it rather than just distancing and pretend that I don't even need to know. But let's be honest about it. World is so full of music that nobody has the time to listen to all the music in the world. Not even one genre. It's impossible to listen to all the black metal releases in the world. I mean, it's just impossible time wise and other reasons. But yeah, whatever I'm listening to, whether it's some I don't know radio playing in a grocery store, or whether it's some music coming from television here and there, or whether it is some reviewable work. Um, I try to pick the good things and the negative things on the given song or given album, given release. Why so? Because in my opinion, whether you're a musician or not, whether you're just a fan or whether you are I don't know professional songwriter, it's always important to find cues like, hey, what's going on with this song? Why there is this kind of melody with this one? Why is the vocalist doing that? Why there are these kind of instruments used in such ways and etc. For example, today when I was driving to the gym and back home from the gym, I was listening to old Limbonic art. That's what I've been doing past couple of days outside my normal review work, and I've been trying to get my head around Lynn Bonigard. I mean, of course, back in the late '90s and early 2000s, of course, I found the band. I remember listening to Lynn Bonigard, the Norwegian band. A lot of people, and I was trying to like figure it out why I didn't like it back in the days too much to own them. I mean, I kind of dug them. I mean, there were some things which I liked, and a lot of things which I didn't. And now more experienced than some more than 25 years ago, whatever. I was trying to understand what are the good things on Limbonic art. What are the bad things? As opposed to some of the songs in the pop genre. And for Limp Guard, for example, this is a good example because I mean, basically, it's supposed to be my genre, my box of toys and all that stuff. Um, Thing here is there are lots of interesting ideas happening, but it's mostly done by keyboards. Do I like the drum machine that's going on all around the music? No, I would prefer them to be real drums rather than kind of a lazily programmed machine drums. Do I like that the guitar walls, the tones, whatever is happening is drowned with synths? No, I fucking don't. I like guitar driven music. That's what one of the reasons what I like about metal music, be it like hard rock, heavy metal, heavy doom metal, trash metal, black metal, death metal, whatever kind of a metal, it's guitar driven music. So once you kind of remove guitars from the equation, once you remove the guitars from the whole thing, or just overshadow them with some other instruments, like in Limbonic Arts case, it's drum machine and lots of keyboards, keyboard layers on top of each other. And I'm like, why should I care about this kind of music? Yeah, surely they have interesting things happening with the keyboards and all that stuff. There's lots of creativity happening with the keyboards, synthesizers, whatever. But when you're trying to listen to the riffs, especially in the first three albums, just try to. I personally find it very hard to figure out whatever the guitars are playing, like in terms of like, could I play it myself? Could I just do a cover track? Because to me, it sounds more like the guitars are so much underneath whatever is happening with the synthesizers and drum machine that it's hard to figure out what the guitars are, doing. To me, it sounds like they're just like, do the kind of a strutting, like dun 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 dun. I don't know, palm muted riffs, whatever. And it's too much keyboard driven music as opposed to, guitar driven. And basically, that is the kind of a band that you really have to like keyboards a lot in order to like the music. Surely they play dark stuff, but they are not real orchestrations. And then again, you have to understand that lots of keyboards are trying to emulate whatever is happening, like with real orchestral music. Like whether we're talking about string instruments, whether we're talking about use of cymbals, or just in general, like brass instruments. Do we play like some kind of a trombones or a bowie or violins and all that stuff? Now, if you're doing it with just keyboards only, you will kind of figure out very quickly. It's drum machines doing the kind of an instrumental, industrial kind of a thing, and then you have lots of keyboards, which then again sounds like my first Sony kind of a music. Now, this is not talking about as disrespect about Limbonic or as such, but I'm merely making a point that when you compare it to a lot of other bands from the same era, from the same place, Norway, and you will then find the difference rather quickly. And I'm like, this is not really my cup of tea. I could find more interesting passages or melodies from certain pop music. So it's not always about, hey, this is my genre. I'm gonna let it slide just because it's black metal. No, there are plenty of bad black metal ones out there. And there are probably lots of interesting pop music or jazz music or blues music or whatever music out there, which might have more interesting things going on, even though they're not your genre. So my rambling is all about try to be open-minded, whatever music you're listening to. Now you have to understand, for example, a lot of black metal was made by people who were listening other things than black metal, especially when we're talking about the first wave of black metal. Those guys were not listening to black metal because black metal wasn't even invented. So a lot of these people were inspired by something else than your own genre of chosen style. So sometimes whatever you pick up from various sources might be giving you a lot of interesting ideas. I have had this one death metal riff in my head for more than 20 years now. And why more than 20 years is that it's actually a techno part from the movie called Matrix 1999. And there is this um, moment in the movie when the music is like very aggressive, very intense, but it's techno, full blown techno. I never liked techno, but when I started translating that techno part, the intensity, the aggressiveness in my head into some kind of a guitar riffs, it started sounding like death metal to me, with or without vocals. I would hear whatever was played in the dancing sequence or whatever part of the movie, whatever techno was happening, my brain was translating it into whatever could happen with electric guitars, death metal especially. And now there are even, kids songs. Actually, one of the kids songs, very very common kids song in Finland, actually was translated into my other band's Annihilator's riff because I started making into a darker ways. So whatever was happening, like in an uplifting mood for kids' music, like a happy tune, was suddenly a dark song in my head, like almost doom black metal song. So sometimes when you pick certain ideas, whether it's something on TV, whether it's something on radio, whether it's something next guy to your left playing at school or work or whatever, you might be like, what is this shit? I don't like this shit. But your brain starts working on that. It's like your subconscious is like figuring out actually that horrible pop song does actually have quite nice of a melody, which in turn I could translate into something like heavy metal song, doom metal song, black metal, trash metal, whatever is going on in your head. And that's sometimes where art is coming from. You don't just pick the pieces of the puzzle you want to use, but your brain does it automatically. Sometimes when you go to a bed and you're there like, okay, I need to get some sleep, and you're just blinking your eyes, and then some song or part of a song, some melody drills into your brain, and you're like, I'm actually creating a song here. That's how things sometimes work. A lengthy answer to a to a question that nobody even probably asks. Just saying. Okay, now I'm trying to read the backlog once again. Oh, SK, thanks for asking. My weekend's pretty nice. Tomorrow there is Father's Day in Finland. Gonna be dining with my parents and with my kid and all. And today was at spa and had a good lunch and then to the gym. And now I'm talking to you as a part of the stream. And now I'm out of gin. I still have tonic, but my gin bottle is empty. So I'll go for whiskey. And this whiskey bottle, by the way, before I keep answering your questions, this Frey Ranch. This is actually this was given to me at Steel Fest 2023 by the graphics guy Chris C, who does all those wonderful thumbnails you've been seeing. And he brought this bottle to me from Nevada. I think this is some kind of a some smaller distillery outside Las Vegas or Nevada, whatever. And this is straight bourbon whiskey. I gotta say, this is actually pretty good. And now I'm gonna do something that I don't tell you to do. There's a little bit of water here, my Rammstein water glass. I'm just gonna do this kind of washing the gin tonic away. So a little bit of cleaning and not going away from the camera, and then we're going to have a little bit of whiskey or bourbon, like some people out there might be now reminding me of. So, cheers to all you people out there. Good booze. All right, getting back to your questions. Taurus was asking what I think about Finnish thrash metal band Stone. Well, I gotta say, Stone is the biggest one We're from Finland, the most legendary one, but was never my cup of tea. I think there was a little bit too much off on the funny side of things, maybe too progressive for my simple mind and all that stuff. So never been a Stone fan. Benji, gotta say, I've never seen deathcore used about sarcophago, but if you've seen one, I cannot really question that too much. Hector Garcia, I really agree with whatever Spellgoat said about that. A good song is a good song, and he's one of the more open-minded people out there who can totally listen to all kind of stuff, all kind of genres, and just dig whatever he wants to. All right, I'm just gonna take the shirt off. It's quite warm here already. Oh, some skin exposure. Um, Meslov, no, I haven't heard Cerulean. I am really busy with my review albums. Milos, I remember hearing Wizard back in the days, but I don't remember liking it. Furivoimakas, I would say the first Limbonic art is actually quite okay, but even the second album is already quite mediocre. SK is giving up on caffeine. No, don't do it, man. Furi, yes, Inquisition is good. I've been actually reviewed quite a few of them. Hello, Waldman. Welcome to the stream. Yes, 666 northbound. I have definitely agree that the Limb Bodyguard is way too clinical. The drum machine is kind of annoying. Odium is way better. I will be actually talking about those bands in my next Norwegian black metal episode. Not the one that comes out tomorrow, but the next one. Tomorrow there are quite a few bands. Isengard, Manes, and now I have to check it out. Whatever was In the Woods. I didn't have to click out. The next one should be out in a couple of weeks, featuring Limbonic art, Obtain Enslavement, and Odium. That should be out in 2 weeks. Yes, Metal Vault. I totally agree. Mysticum is a great example how to do program drums, make it sound industrial and still really badass black metal. Thorns, of course, is another one. I actually reviewed the Thorns debut album for a classic review album maybe 2 years ago already. And yeah, of course, both Thorns and Mysticum will be featured in my Crash Course to Norwegian Black Metal series later on. Oh, Waldman, I'm envious to you seeing Cavalera Conspiracy. They didn't come to Finland at all. So it sucks because it could have been really great to see those guys play old Sepultura stuff. I mean, their remakes, Bestial Devastation and all, they were really, really good. For the one, because what are you referring with the international metal man at shooting? Which band are you referring to? Mikita, can't say I know God's Tower. Unfortunately, it doesn't ring a bell. Benching having Heineken. I feel sorry for you, Benchy. I mean, Heineken doesn't really taste much. Mikos, thanks you for the tip about Knob Creek. Oh yeah, SK, you know bourbon better than me, but well, I would love some Kentucky bourbon, definitely. American know how to make the whiskey, even though I'm more Scotch guy. Yes, Jonsa Red Rocks. A few years ago, my friends gave me Teerenpeli whiskey as a birthday present, and that was pretty good of a whiskey. I've been actually thinking of a couple of times buying some Teerenpeli whiskey for myself from those cruises, but then again, the price is pretty much the same for Scotch whiskey, and then I would rather go for some smoky one. But I actually brought my cameraman Carl, who was there with me in Bergen at Beyond the Gates Festival as my cameraman. Indeed, I brought him a bottle of Finnish whiskey, and then I bought another bottle which was for shared. And you might see those with some Martti videos from Bergen. So we had some Finnish whiskey there at the hotel room and all that stuff. Hello, Metal Voice. Welcome to Czech Republic. I actually mentioned a couple of Czech Republic bands earlier on in the stream. Oh, Cecilia Taylor, don't give a fuck about the Grammy noms. Who gives a shit? They just want to get their share of credibility, handing out some Grammy awards to metal and rock bands. But I don't know. We don't have to care about them. Yeah, Metal Voice gonna say Odium is good. I think Odium's debut album is something that kind of a good continuation, good successor to whatever Emperor was doing with the first album. Because I'm one of those people who actually was, you know, disappointed with Emperor's second album, Anthems. Adding a lot of clean vocals and going like progressive side of things. Whereas, in my opinion, Odium's Sad Realm of the Stars is like, you know, keeping the flame going on, whatever Emperor started with in the Nightside Eclipse. And Odium played a good gig at Inferno in Oslo last spring. So I really hope the Odium people are doing a new material. I was just recently, that's this week, I revisited Odium debut album, and I think it's quite a good album. If only they had kept going on with Odium after that, it would be now one of the better bands, I'm sure, from Norway. That is. Yeah, Ginger Sentinex is pretty good with the drum machine, but there's so many ways to use drum machine. For example, indeed, Thorns and Mysticum do it good, and Sentinex gets a pass with the drum machine, even though it's death metal. But Lymphotic Art, the problem is not even so much with the drum machine, but keyboards and drum machine. And when the drum machine is so much over the top of things, and even Sentinex would sound better with real drummer, of course. Oh yeah, Fury Voimakas. This battle might have been at Steel Chaos as one of those Marty videos. Gotta say, I never liked the Berserker, at least back in the days. Well, yeah, Marty videos are such that some people don't like Marty at all, which is fine, and some people like them, which is also fine. Marty is there to balance things out. When Rauta is getting too serious, Marty enters the play and throws in his curveballs. I don't expect everybody to like Marty. Quite the contrary. Marty is free to piss people off. That's just fine. Um, Hector Garcia, I'm no whiskey specialist, but I guess American whiskey is more made with corn, whereas Finnish whiskey, well, we don't really have corn as such. So I think Finnish whiskey is made more with the Scottish tradition. I'm assuming anyway. Never more rules. I'm happy to hear that you get to enjoy Marty videos. Um, there will be more Marty stuff, but Marty is mostly present with festivals and all that stuff. Furi, yep, you're right. Nobody has to like everything. It's just fine. Um, Torso. No, I gotta say I haven't heard of those, but sounds cool. I'm a very, very casual vodka drinker. Whenever I drink vodka, it's mostly with some kind of, you know, soft drink. Like with making drinks. I think vodka is the number one when it comes to making drinks because the taste is kind of a neutral. I mean, you can make a plenty of different kind of drinks with vodka, but I wouldn't use rum or whiskey, especially with or cognac, brandy, with a lot of drinks. But I like to taste different drinks. Now, if anybody can guess what is my favorite drink cocktail, that is of all time, I will send you a CD as a Rauta 17,000 um, giveaway. Yeah, in case you didn't know this, recently, was it last week? Rauta got 17,000 uh, subscribers. So congratulations to the channel in hindsight. Yeah, Benji, if only there was someone to sponsor Marty to do his videos, there will be more. All right, people, it's been an hour in. Um, Ask me things. And Mikita gets the prize. Well, Mojito is definitely um, one of those drinks I really, really like a lot. And gin tonic, of course. But and yeah, yeah. So I was saying mojitos, gin tonics, Tom Collins, that kind of stuff. If you want to ever give me a, if you want to, what? It's not you. Did I mistype your name? Oh yeah, Hector Garcia. I've been trying some tequila. But yeah, as I was saying, there are plenty of good drinks which I enjoy. So if you want to ever surprise me with a nice gift where at the festival or whatever, get me some of the good drinks. Magic 69 was saying mojito, but that's not the correct answer. I mean, I do like mojito, but I was saying Blood Mary is the right answer to the question, what is my favorite cocktail? So that's why I was saying Mikita should mail me the address. Mojito is a good, I mean, it's a good guess, but it's not my favorite drinks. Favorite drink, that is. Favorite cocktail. Ginger Red, we are actually the same age now that you mention it. Um, Well, I do like old school heavy metal, but I don't know too many Scandinavian heavy metal bands which are good. So there's that. But feel free to give me ideas. What ones? So yeah, Mikita, you were the right. Bloody Mary is the correct answer. So that's why. Um. Okay, I'm reading your comments once again. Oh yeah, Maslot has a good question about are there people in popular culture music, despite the genre or popularity, blah blah blah, aroused my interest and respect. Now that you mentioned Sinead O'Connor, well, I could mention her as well, but uh, now my mind is doing the trick. Yeah, surely there are artists out of my favorite genres and all that stuff which are interesting. And now I'm thinking of this name. Um, Fuck it, I'm just gonna. Um, Miley Cyrus, it's a good example. I like that she's based and she has made some bold moves. I like people who make bold moves. Um, and I also like people who are courageous, who are willing to, I mean, take risks in their careers. And she's a good example of that. But of course, there might be others if I really had the time to think about it. Like I don't have a drop down menu list in my head of cool artists out of my favorite zone. Um, but in a way, for example, I could say some hip hop artists are like that. Public Enemy guys probably would be, or NWA in that sense. Sorry, Magic 69, if I got you confused. Yeah, Bloody Mary was the correct answer. Mojito was a good guess, but no prize for Mojito. Furivoimakas, actually, sour beers are my favorite beers this time. They are something. I actually had a good sour beer today at the spa. It was a blackcurrant one. So sour beers are definitely my favorite ones. Benji, unfortunately, I don't know Dementor or Carrion. So at the moment, I cannot really think about Slovakian bands. Probably there are. Oldman Pina Colada is a good guess also, but like I said already, the correct answer is Bloody Mary. But Pina Colada is pretty good. Unfortunately, haven't been to Kilim Zaibu, but it seems like an interesting festival. And maybe someday, maybe there will be enough money for Rauta to travel there as well. We shall see. Malokarpatan is actually pretty interesting, but unfortunately, I don't like it enough. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's not good enough for me to buy their CDs, for example. Thank you, Metal Vault. Have a good night as well. Amma Numinen is an interesting artist, but I cannot be honest about it and say it's good music in my ears. Whereas NWA definitely has some cool tunes. I'm talking about hip hop stars. I would say Ice T is definitely one of those artists who I respect big time, but I still wouldn't say I'm an Ice T fan when it comes to music. Individual songs, quite cool and all that stuff, but yeah. Oh yeah, Cameron, I do know Oz, but I can't say I know them well. And Gotham City Heavy Load, I have only heard the names, but haven't been listening to them. Furi Voimakas, that sounds like a good one. Which is the brewery? Which one is the brewery for Etco Vanilla Ducks? Is it Etco? Oh, Mustras, what I think about Latino American bands, I have big respect for any band that comes from, for example, South or Mid Americas. Because the thing here is, those guys didn't have the possibility like lots of rich kids in Norway, or for that matter, maybe Sweden, Finland as well. So when band comes from Latin America, Mystifier or whatever, Sarcophago, who knows what, I think they had to put more extra effort in that sense. And I have respect for those bands that I got to see at Steelfest. For example, Witch Trap and the other band that is in my head now, trying to get the name. Sometimes I don't know. My brain is probably getting rotten and old. Anyway, the band that I had chat with, the interview wasn't too good, but I mean, I have respect for those bands that are coming from um, those parts of the world, which are definitely not some, I don't know, middle class made black metal. They had to fight for their, survival in so many ways, much more. Now that I've been reading, one thing what I actually wanted to tell you people that I've been reading the Black Metal Evolution of the Cult book now, about 70 some pages in, and it's all about the first wave of black metal, at least around, I think, roughly 90, 100 first pages. And when I'm talking about first wave, I'm talking about not only Venom or Bathory or Merciful Fate or Hellhammer or Celtic Frost. It's also about those brands from the 80s like Tormentor, Mystifier, Sarcophago, Blasphemy, a lot of those bands in the 80s. And that just kind of reinforced my gut feeling, my understanding about bands coming from Latin America and having hard time to, with the political climate and living in under dictatorship and all that stuff. Very, very different compared to whatever was happening in Norway or Sweden or Finland, for that matter. So yeah, I have a big respect for those bands, even if they're not my favorite types of band when it comes to the music itself. So there is that. But yeah, massive love for whatever Latin American people had going on, and besides, they've been always very, very friendly people. Some of the most friendly people I've ever met come from, Latin American countries. But I guess I would still give the title so far to Greek people. There is none so much, who are so friendly, so respectful than the Greek people. So, whatever people you do, travel to Greece, eat Greek food, embrace Greek culture, read philosophy, and, well, Greek people are like number one. That being said, never dated a Greek woman, so can't say if they're bad or not. All right, back to your comments and questions before we go. Before we go, meaning I'm gonna go back to movie. I was watching the movie Extraction for about an hour before I started the stream, and I'm hooked into the very movie. Oh, thank you about the tip, Furivoimakas. I have totally missed Etko Brewing, but I gotta say, at least Coolhead and Salama and some other breweries making good sour beers from Finland. I really, really love them. Thank you for the tip, Milos, about um Jonah Quiz. Gotta check it out at some point. Oops, now I'm clicking something which I'm not supposed to. Come on. Reading your comments in case you're wondering my silence. Well, when I know Benighted, that is, in my opinion, one of the best French death metal bands. For one was Passionberry Haze sounds like a really good one. Hello, Rob Fellfire. Good afternoon to you. Here it is, though, almost midnight. Damn, Tia, you got me convinced about the Vanilla Ducks. Yeah, Nevermore rules. I'm actually referring to the new edition, the revised final whatever edition. That's the one that I got for review. I think it's out on 1st of December. I don't think I will have my review ready for 1st of December, but it should be ready later in December anyway. but it's over 400 pages, and I'm like 75 pages in, and I'm kind of a slow reader because I have so much other things to do. But yeah. And Rob, now that you mentioned Blasphemy is coming to Steel Fest 2024, I hope to get interview going on. Let's keep our thumbs up for that. John Jared, I don't have a big record collection. I've been probably selling something like 6,000 releases over the years, because if I kept all the CDs, all the vinyl, all the tapes I've gotten for review in the past 20 years, I wouldn't have a place to store them. I would have something like 8,000 uh, releases so far. So what you see behind me, this is mostly what I have. You might notice there are some gaps because I'm actually going through alphabetical order. My CD plays and I'm still in the letter A. So I don't know how many CDs I have. Probably some 700 to 800 now. I haven't counted it for years. Uh, then I have some almost 200 for reviews. I have few dozens vinyl. I actually never bought many vinyls. Most of the vinyl I have gotten through reviews. I only listen to digital or streams when I'm out of house, basically, with the exception of digital promos, which I listen after my daily reviews. So I might find like there's something interesting happening, and I want to review that as well. But mostly I just stick to CDs and vinyl at home. Cecilia Taylor, no, can't say I have a favorite occult rock bands from the 60s and 70s. That never kind of got me going. Yeah, never more rules. It I for some reason Extraction has been on my list for, I don't know, since it came out like I don't know, 3 years ago, 2020. But it's been on my list, and I don't watch much movies. I'm mostly a TV show guy, and of course I game. I like gaming, so when I have more time, I'm most likely to game than watch a movie. But I try to watch movie like once a week or so. For example, earlier this week I rewatched RoboCop, and after that I watched RoboCop 2, which was quite bad. But now I decided today I want to watch a movie now that I have more time during the weekend. So decided to watch Extraction so I get it off my list. And I'm halfway through, and I think it's like what John Wick sequels should have been. I mean, good action, good violence. I don't mean that violence is good, but I mean when we're talking about movies, it's brutal. Whether it's about shooting or like punching somebody in the face or those knife fights, it's fucking brutal. And what it's worth, I think Chris Hemsworth is better action star than Keanu Reeves. No offense, Keanu, but Chris is better. That being said, however, John Wick is, in my opinion, one of the best modern action movies. For me, it's a 9 out of 10 movie. And I feel Extraction could really be the same, but I'm gonna finish it after the stream anyway. What else? Yeah, Rope Hellfire, it's 2 p.m. there, and it's 11 p.m. here. So there's that. Yeah, Benji, I think you're gonna love the evolution of the cult book, especially this revised edition. There are very, very um, new notification, not notifications, but changes in the book, like about 2023. So it's interesting. Robert has a very, very good question. Are there any stereotypes about what kind of people are into black metal that would find that are actually accurate? Yes, I would find, and this don't people don't get upset, but this is something that I think you need to hear from me. I would say most black metal people are geeks or nerds. I don't care which word you prefer, and I don't mean it as an offense, but more like characteristics, a stereotype of people who are into black metal. When I was a young guy, when I was a teenager, and I thought I was the only one listening to black metal and playing role playing games and digging fantasy movies and fantasy books and sci-fi and all that stuff. I thought I was the kind of a guy who was exception to the rules. Everybody else in the black metal scene would be, I don't know, non-geeky type. They would just wear their leather spikes and knobs and whatever, and I would be the guy who would have one foot in the extreme metal department, and the other side was me playing role playing games with my friends and being into sci-fi and fantasy or whatever. Now, a couple of years later, whenever I would meet a new guy in a Finnish black metal scene, whether we're talking about Horna guys or Satanic Warmaster or whatever, all bunch of geeks, much like me. Maybe they not all people are not into video games, but yeah, pretty much most of the people are into the very same kind of set of movies, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, into the gaming, uh, into the world in general. And also, I would say most black metal people are not maybe not necessarily crazy, but are not your typical people. I mean, in the sense of like, hey, let's get two kids, two dogs, one cat, blah blah blah, the basic middle class life, and don't fancy going to festivals and being hardcore fans of music. And I don't mean hardcore as a genre, of course, but like living and breathing music all the time, and life is revolving around music. I think a lot of black metal people, or metal people in that sense, but black metal people in more than say heavy metal people or hard rock people, we are kind of a special kind, and maybe we're just a little bit fucked in the head. And that is goes in like both good ways and bad ways. Some people are like, you're too fucked, I will never understand why you are part of society or not part of society. And that's the beauty of it. A lot of black metal people are not what you would say normal people. I mean, most of them, of course, me included, we have normal jobs, we have a lot of friends, we have other hobbies and all that stuff. But I mean, it takes a certain mindset to understand why people like us would be like, yeah, burning down a church is an acceptable thing, or why we are philosophically on a certain page when we're talking about, say, Nietzsche or some author Schopenhauer, or maybe why we are anti-religious, why we are certain ways wired up, be it political or apolitical, why we have certain attraction for the occult, the mystique, the whatever is going on after death. I mean, there's plenty of things, characteristics, attributes that go with us, certain kind of people. Of course, this is not limited to black metal people. There are plenty of other artsy fartsy people who think exactly like that. Their focus is in other genres than black metal. But I mean, you will find like-minded people in, say, I guess, dark ambient, power electronics, these marginal music styles. You will find that people who are kind of a fucked in the head, they have a typical way to see how the world revolves, how the world is made of, and all that stuff. So yeah, I would say black metal characteristics and stereotypes, they are there and they're real. Of course, there are people who are just tourists for the black metal who maybe played in a black metal band for a year or two in their teenage years, only to later on turn their coat and say, I don't really like black metal. I don't know why the guys are thinking like the way they are. And it's okay. It's okay to be a normal guy. But when it comes to extreme metal, when it comes to living and breathing this certain lifestyle, if you will, well, some people have it, and most people won't have it. And it's not even, worth explaining too much. I mean, you don't have to justify if you're a little bit different, if you're hardwired in certain different ways. Like if you say, yeah, I fucking hate religion so much that all the churches and mosques and whatever should be burnt down and people should be without any kind of religion. A lot of eyebrows will be like, what the hell is this guy saying? We don't really need to do that explaining. We kind of keep it to ourselves, talk among ourselves, own kind, if you will. It's own click, own scene, certain kind of a mindset. And I'm not expecting people to like, hey, that's pretty normal. Some people will be okay with it, some people won't. And it's just how it goes. This kind of music, I think, attracts uh, weird people, no normal people, that is, who understand one another, whether or not they like the same kind of music. So it's never just about the music, it's also what connects the dots beyond music. Like, for example, when I didn't even know about black metal, I was very, very much against religious types, people, and organizations and all that stuff. Religions were something that, in my opinion, were like the most sickening things in the world. I mean, I found them repulsive. I find them atrocious. I find that like religion should be fucking like, you know, torn down. Black metal clicked with me later on, and I found like, hey, this is the kind of music that clicks with me mentally, ideologically, as well as musically. Guess what? I found out that I was not the only one. There were other people who were like geeks, like just said, who were into these kind of ideological takes, philosophical takes, and also like the same kind of music. And suddenly it was a huge new scene. And now I'm talking about the 90s. I'm not talking about recent years. So, of course, new generation might think about different ways about black metal and all that stuff. But I still feel like on social media, you will see these black metal tourists. They're all about like they like black metal to a certain degree. I like the music. I like the vocals. I don't like the lyrics and what these bands are talking about. Yeah, maybe because you're not black metal deep inside your heart. You're just a fucking tourist. And it's fine, by the way. But you're not one of us in the sense. You might be wearing the same kind of clothing. You might be going to the same kind of shows, but you don't share the mentality. So there is the difference. You know it when it clicks. It's like relationships. You might feel that that person is attractive. I want to have sex with that person, but that person will never be my boyfriend or girlfriend. That's the difference. That's what the basic thing is. It's speechless communication. It's body language. It's taste. It's smell. It's something that you don't have words for right that. It just clicks when you know it. It's chemistry in one way to put it. And I think everybody who has that in deep in their hearts and soul or brain or whatever you want to call it, they know it instantaneously. They don't need my explanation to do it. And those who need the explanation, they are not that. It's very, very simple. You either have it or you don't. It's like creating music. Some people will hear melodies and riffs and whatever in their heads all the fucking time. Not like literally all the fucking time, but they do have. And there are people who don't see it. They don't hear the melodies and the riffs. They are not creating anything musically because they are not hardwired like that. And it's fine. I'm just saying we're different kind of people. So, a long answer, rambling once again. But a good question, Robert. Oh, Milos, it's nice to hear that you're having some good cool head beers over there. Very, very nice. Slayer, yes, I do know about Devil's Blood. Never kind of a, didn't do a thing for me. Devil's Blood is just the kind of a retro occult rock, and it's not my cup of tea. I understand why people like it, but it's not my thing. I want more brutality. I want more metal than that kind of occult rock. So if I have to choose occult music or dumbass metal music, I go for the dumbass metal music. Hello, James Spies. Welcome to the stream. We're getting closer towards the end, I guess. Rob Hellfire, I gotta say, Yoth Iria is now my favorite Greek band. That and Raven Cult. Furi, still haven't watched The Dark, even though it's been on my watch list since it was released a few years ago. James, dead or alive, you're coming with me. Yeah, that's RoboCop. And yep, once again, people, if you want to ask me something, tag me. Otherwise, I will miss your questions. Never more rules. Do you mean like polar night, like we don't have sun going up or whatever, or do you mean that sun doesn't go down during the summer? Cecilia Taylor, Annihilation was disappointment for me. Marcus Olsson, can't say I have heard Ice Blast. Sounds like a Magic the Gathering card. Rob Helfer, I mean, that's exactly what I mean. History and culture nerd. That's part of the geek stuff anyway. Well, Cecilia, exactly. That described the Southern girl type. I mean, hair metal. I mean, it's still metal. It's still rock, and it's still weird. I mean, of course, it's kind of a mainstream when we're talking about Skid Row, Metallica, or Wasp. But those bands are, and especially were, badass. So yeah, I would be the Southern girl for those bands as well. And I had my grunge phase. I never got to like most grunge bands though, but I mean, I had first Pearl Jam album back in the 90s, first Nirvana album. Um, I liked some Mother Love Bone. I liked some other bands, but only Alice in Chains stuck with me. The rest of the grunge bands, I mean, for example, I never liked the Chris Cornell stuff. I mean, it wasn't just for me. But yeah, we had a grunge phase with our my good friends back in the 90s. But that went along with metal as well. Yeah, Benji, that's what I mean. We are that kind of a info dump people. I mean, that's part of the fun doing Rauta is that I can educate people about metal. I can tell them about new albums, new bands, or just some obscure ones that most people won't maybe know. I love talking about metal. That's given. I wouldn't do Rauta if I didn't want to do it. Yes, Cameron, Werewolf is a good example. Werewolf or Satanic War Master that is about like he's into game and geeky stuff. He has never been, shy of that, and I like him for that. Yeah, Cameron, I think that's what you said. It doesn't matter whether it's about being smarter or dumber. It's just like we have the kind of a metal soul, for the lack of better word. Metal soul sounds like a bad accept cover band song. But I mean, the metal soul is just something that we understand. We don't have to see it. Like, for example, you know the situation. You go to a grocery store, you go to a bar, and then you notice, hey, that guy has a cool metal shirt. Maybe I should go to talk to him. Maybe you don't know, but maybe you don't. But I mean, you already got that click. Hey, that's a dismember shirt. He must be a good lad. Why? Liking a good band doesn't mean he's a decent human being, but you already got that feeling like, hey, he understands about this member. He can't be all that bad, right? I mean, he might be the biggest douche in the house, of course, but there's certain language among the metal bands. And I think it's not just limited to people liking metal. I think people who have dogs, people who fancy turtles, or whatever, probably have a similar mind setting. Like, hey, that person right there has a cool dog. He must be a decent human being because he has that kind of a dog. You know what I'm talking about? So that's I think some kind of behavioral thing among us people. Like when we find that missing clan member, we understand right away that hey, that's part of our clan. Well, Brian Mons, yeah, it's very true. We cannot really change the world. We can we can probably change what's happening in, like nearby us, through our loved ones, close ones, whatever. But that's beyond it. Yeah, Ivan, I'm sure that the Gorgorod will play a good show for you. I think Gorgorod has always been a good live band. I just saw them the last time in Bergen. Once again, really, really good show. And he got three first Gorgorod albums, among the best black metal albums of all time. Yes, Robe, my pleasure. I hope you like the answer. Thank you, Captain Sweep, by the way, for your donation. Thank you so much. This money will be put into the cause of Rauta. I will get back to you that in a bit. I will just quickly go through the back scroll. 24 is asking what I do think about RABM, that is Red Anarchist Black Metal. First of all, I haven't heard a single good RABM band ever. I think all the RABM bands are relatively small. I'm still looking for a good one among that style, but there must be some weird reason why those bands are not being promoted as other black metal bands. Gyro Lamb, the weather now is quite okay. It's a little bit moist, not too cold, but very, very September like. Not exactly warm, of course, but not exactly freezing. Yeah, for it, Changers Harley is a great song. Slayer Bloodline, I'm happy to hear that you get to like Anti Pope. Good, good. Jerolam, do you mean Mikko Aspas? Vapauden risti, maybe? Yes, Mikko's Satanic War Master definitely has kind of a geeky glass. That's true. Hello, Jack Todd. Welcome to the stream. It's going nicely. Yeah, Jerolam, I know that what do you say about metal? But I think maybe there are other styles which are similar in the same way as metal, but we just seem to share something rebellious what's happening in metal. I think that's one of the things. What is my favorite Madonna song? I don't really have favorite Madonna song, but I would say it's Frozen. Okay, now about the money people were mentioning. Quat and Sweep donated €2 here for Rauta Crew. So I want to say, budget wise, Rauta is not getting bigger. But the good news is we already have Inferno hotels booked for Rauta Crew. That means me and my camera people. And when they are booked this early, like that was already last month, and now there are some Patreon money coming in, some YouTube advertising money, and then there was some. You saw those Helsinki Metal Fest ads, like in July and August, means that we're getting some money in, which means that it's more likely that next year there might be more festival trips. When I say festival trips, I don't really mean it in a plural sense of things, but more like saying, so far we got already Inferno booked, and it seems like Beyond the Gates festival is very, very likely to happen for us. And if the budget allows, we might have some other trip outside Finland. So I'm saying that thanks to you all donators, whether you're doing donations via PayPal or YouTube or Patreon, it really helps me and my camera people to go to these festivals, because this money is put into traveling and hotels. So once I get those covered, then I know my camera people don't have to spend their own money in order to work. Means we're gonna get more festival trips, which means in turn we can do more interviews for you. So whatever you do with your money, but if you're putting it Rauta's ways, rest assured it's put into good use in terms of more interviews happening. And like I said earlier on in this stream, the end of the year doesn't look too sweet when it comes to interviews because most festivals are already done. There's not at least happening anything in Finland. So there might not be too many festivals, too many interviews that is happening towards the end of the year. We still have something coming up, but most likely December might be like nothing is happening. Might be that even January, February are mostly like nothing is happening in terms of interviews. But I try to get something done. But should February and March 2024 happen, there are some events where I will be going with my camera people, and there will be interviews taking place. For example, there will be Turku Saatanalle. It's either late February or early March. I will be playing there with Nightside, so I cannot work that much for 2 days than normally. But there are some interviews I am trying to do, and also there will be this pre-club, like maybe month earlier than Turku Saatanalle, where I try to get some interviews done. So early on next year, February or so, there should be more interviews, and towards the spring we go, there will be more. So whenever festival season is up and running, make sure, I mean, rest assured that Rauta is once again traveling and we're gonna do more interviews because I at least assume that most people out there are looking for those interviews, and the rest of the content, be it reviews or opinion videos or streams, well, these are secondary thing, I guess. And of course, if you have suggestions how to improve Rauta channel, how I can improve myself as a host to this channel, please let me know. I'm here for you, not so much more myself. Yeah, Gyrolamp, much like you, I prefer summer over winter. I mean, winter is cold for inspiration for black metal songs and lyrics and all that stuff. But let's be honest about it. Nothing can beat hanging out with friends with cold beers, barbecue, going to festivals. Summer is the shit. So there's that. And Rob, I think there are plenty of versions of Madonna's Frozen in metal covers. Furi Voimakas, at least Blackbird is coming to Helsinki Metal Fest, so I guess no. Well, yeah, 24 Dödsrit is actually a good band. If that counts as an RABM, that then it's a first good one I hear because Dödsrit is good. Slayer Blood, like, could I recommend a couple of aggressive black metal albums from last 5 years? Well, I could give you this list because this should be useful to you. That's only portion of my reviews, but has most of my reviews for past like 3 years or so. So maybe that list could help you out. Ivanus, you're welcome. I don't even get to see those ads myself, so I don't know. Maybe I actually should stop talking when the ad ads come up. So in case you got something you missed, let me know. Brian Mons can't say we really have heat here in Finland. So There's that. So summer is best. Slayer, that's a good good suggestion to have Azazel again. Well, let's hope we can have it later on. Checked out, I think we have to wait until 2024 to find out what Kerry King is about with his new band, but I'm stoked because Slayer is the best band in the world. Furi Voimakas, I kind of agree about Andosian statements. Kenna is one special character and very, very lovable. Yes, never, never more rules. The zipper opening, you cannot fake that shit. Thank you so much, Captain Sweep, once again. Sour would be great to interview, but I tried to get Sour interview happening actually a couple of years ago, and he wouldn't do it because I wouldn't send my questions in advance. So take it as you will. Hello, Rigilo Romania. Bring us some vampires. Vampire girls, preferably because I'm a guy who likes gals. Vampire gals. Yeah. Thank you so much, Brian Mons, for your donation. Like said, this money will be put into good use. So far, what is this saying? Like, let's celebrate the channel's first super attribute in the live stream. That must be the Brian Mons using this weird emoji thing going on. So, yay for Brian. Cannot really click that stuff. Marty Fests. Yeah, Red Machine. I think we need some funding for Marty Fests. That would be something. Yeah, Furri Voimakas. That's the money is put into shampoo. Very correct. Well, thank you, Brian. Donation is very, very much appreciated. Yeah, so like I was saying about the money being spent, so far it looks good because now that we have Inferno hotels booked already in October, I think our budget is more or less done for Inferno by the end of the year, meaning flight tickets for me and my camera crew, which means that when January is here, I can already lock down the hotels for Beyond the Gates, which mean we should have more money towards the end of the year for some other festivals. So if this curve goes up a little bit, we should have more festivals to do. And of course, I would be stoked to do that. For example, like I said earlier in the stream, it would be great to visit, say, Psycho, Las Vegas, or Maryland Death Fest. But those are just too expensive festivals at the moment. But who knows what happens in the future? Yes, Benji, Marty very much accepts beer payments. Beer payments don't maybe help with the accommodation and flight tickets, but Marty's wherever Rauta goes. Chector, thanks for asking. I actually hurt my back with deadlifts a few weeks ago, so I was on pause for like 6 weeks. And today, when I was doing deadlifts, I of course didn't feel as strong as before. I think I've got a little bit of decline with deadlifts. My bench press is pretty much the same, but it feels like I didn't lost anything there during the break because I get to do a little bit of bench press while my back was a mess. Squats are doing quite fine, and even though I'm getting older, I feel like the lifting in general is going quite good. I guess I should add some more videos for Instagram or secondary channel Rauta Beyond. People who don't know, Rauta Beyond is my secondary channel for non-metal content, including lifting, gaming, movies, even some silly reaction videos. So I guess I should be posting more stuff, but I'm kind of lazy to pick up my camera at gym because first and foremost I focus on lifting, not making videos. But since I kind of want to inspire people to take care of their health, even though here I am drinking booze, um, I still want to like help people to get in shape. I mean, even if you live your rock and roll lifestyle, that is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, yeah, go for sex. Always go for sex, whether you're married or single or whatever, go for sex. Sex is the best thing in life. Music comes second, I guess. I still want to say, yeah, even if you have sex or drugs and rock and roll, you can have rock and roll and still, keep in shape. You can still take care of your body because when you take care of your body, you also take care of your head. So that would make you a better lover, better musician, better person in general. So take my word for that. Keep yourself in check. Keep yourself in good shape, and the rest will follow. So, people, have sex, lift heavy objects, eat well, spend time with friends, and listen to good music. There's like top five things to do in your life. All just saying. Furi, the amount of camera people depends, but usually it's one or two, rarely more than two. Well, Cecilia, it's nice to hear that you like the streams as well. The plan is to keep these streams once a month. If I can justify for whatever reason to do more streams, like it would be fun to do a stream from a festival at some point, I try to do them. But so far, I like to keep them like once a month. And I try to do them like in early parts of any given month. For example, now I can pretty much say that damn it, I forgot to post on Battle Lore on Instagram later on. As I was saying, the next stream should be out on 2nd of December. That is next 3 weeks. And by the way, when we go towards the end of the year, of course, my personal top 10 albums will be done. Probably very very late in December. Like I have now scheduled it for the very last day of this year. That is New Year's Eve. Might be, however, some early day in January. But towards the end of the year we go. The plan is to have one more stream and of course some opinion videos and lots of reviews and who knows what, like hopefully some interviews and at least some crash course to Norwegian black metal videos. But streams are happening more or less once a month, unless something special happens. Yes, Rob Powell, when lifting, focus on the lifting. And hello, Fartein. Good morning from Norway. Norgay. Can't be morning now in Norway. Yes, Jack Judd. That's very true. Jack Wild lifts. Manowar guys lift or lifted. Peter Steele was an avid lifter. Yeah, he would look really, really good also. So yeah, there are plenty of people. And also, as you people might know, Blood Chalice guy people lift. Groda from Ukraine, that guy lifts. People from Sarkrista, the main man, he lifts. He's big guy. So there are plenty. I'm not the only one, of course, and I like it. I like to see people who in good shape and taking care of themselves. For example, in Nightside, we have actually three lifting guys. So it's kind of fun, quite fun that our bass player is the biggest one, me being the second one, and the other guitarist, three buff guys in the band. Yeah, for time, I don't mean that festival streams I would do on the spot, like at the festivals, because then I'm checking out the bands and hanging out with friends. But I mean more likely streams before the actual event starts. Like at Inferno, the first band start around 5 p.m. It would be easy to stream a little bit early on about the day. Maybe at Steel Fest as well, but usually we're having fun with guys and all that stuff. So who knows? Christmas stream with Cherry wearing a Santa hat. I don't see that happening, however. And yeah, of course, blasphemy powerlifters. I actually had a few years ago a talk with Black Winds of Blasphemy. I'm spitting already. So I was talking about lifting with Black Winds of Blasphemy and about like how he got hernia and hurt his back and all that stuff. We were talking about heavy squats and all that stuff, and it was something different. That wasn't it for interview, by the way. Just two guys talking about lifting. That was really really nice. Hello, Rauta Flogarius. Welcome to the stream. 24 is asking interesting question. Who was better singer, Mayhem, Attila or Dead? Well, Attila is more unique, but I prefer Dead for his style. Benji, you would pick metal over sex. What's wrong with you? You never had good sex? Because, I mean, you can combine both. As much as I love metal, as much as I love a lot of other things, nothing can beat good sex. Yes, Gyro Lamp. What you said about Peter Steele, very true. He was in a good shape and he was looking strong and healthy. Furi Voimakas, gotta say, while Maniac is based, I prefer Attila over Maniac. What? Jack Toad doesn't know blasphemy from Canada and them being powerlifting skinheads. You definitely should check out that stuff. Yeah, thank you, Nevermore Rules. I think that Blood Chalice interview was fun because it was done at my old home gym, so it was great. Yeah, I hoped the Blasphemy guys would be up for interview at Steel Fest because that would be something that is way overdue. Uh, my personal preference to get interviews done is would be like getting the old ones before they quit and all that stuff. And I don't know what's Blackwind status nowadays. He used to date a friend of mine and was a frequent visitor to Finland as such. That's why I met him like a couple of times. And yeah, I hope that it would help, get that blasphemy interview done. But we shall see. Can't make any promises about Steelfest 2024 because that's so many months away, but we shall see how it goes. First year, of course, Turku Saatanala and Inferno festivals. So we shall see what's happening with there. Yes, Jack Todd, always common sense. I'm older than you, and I can still say, yeah, always play safe. Yeah, Benji, it would be awesome to talk with Blasphemy about black metal, the early days, Ross Bay cult, and all that stuff, as well as powerlifting. That would be so great. So let's keep our thumbs up for that. Yeah, and push-ups are, of course, good one for upper body. Oh, Rob Hellfire, that sucks. Anyway, people, now we've been almost 2 hours in. I really want to go back to see the Extraction movie. While it has been interesting and fun to talk to you, 2 hours is a little bit taxing. So I hope you understand. We're going to call it a night. We're going to call it a day, that is the saying. And this has been an interesting talk with you people. You have once again made important and interesting questions. Sometimes I get rambling too much and all that stuff. So maybe catch you in a few weeks. Like I said, the next stream is planned for 2nd of December. roughly the same time, 10 p.m. local time, which should be 8 o'clock p.m. in English time, and probably some afternoon for American people and all that stuff. So, in case you don't have anything better to do on 2nd of December, get your drinks and snacks ready, prepare some questions, and hit me up with the questions. And maybe, hopefully, if things go as planned, I should have the night side interview with Hest of Talke out, so you can get to see me answering his questions and all that stuff. So you can just, you know, challenge me once again. So thank you, Rob. Thank you, Furi, and all that stuff. It's been a good time here and all that stuff. Thank you, Tia. See you soon with more gigs. Are you Tia coming to Turku Saatanalle, by the way? Hey Do, nevermore. Thank you, Benji. You should definitely come to Turku Saatanalle to see our show. We're gonna play some new songs. I mean, you're from Sweden, so you can pretty easily come to Åbo or Turku. Terve mamma ja. Sorry, is it Meija? Hard to read sometimes because of the font. Yes, Tia. Excellent. See you there then. All right. Good night and sorry, Meija. My bad. My bad. The font is something very unreadable. Excuse me for reading it incorrectly. All right, people. Take care and check out the stream once again in December. And should you want some random gaming streams every now and then, check out Rauta Beyond, the secondary channel, because while I will be gaming, I will always talk about a little bit metal as well during those streams. They're not daily streams, but happening every week anyway, and all that stuff. All right, off you go, people. Enjoy your weekend. Grab your drinks and stay metal as always. Bye bye.